The lesson title, you need to look at that closely. It is not global warming, but global warning. We'll play on words there, but it has a purpose. There are a lot of problems in this world, and many of them that can cause us concern today. But ultimately, there is only one problem that really does need a full global warning. And it's very important that we get that. So we're going to be talking about this morning, but first we're going to notice some things about the problems that we face in the world. And this is going to be so that we can contrast them a little bit. It is true that, yes, there's something going on in the world that is called global warming. And if we just look at what's going on recently, we can certainly see that there's some strange things going on. And some of these are records that people haven't seen in many years, and some of them are all-time records. But certainly there are problems out there. Now, I happen to believe that as a Christian, we need to respect all that God has given us and blessed us with, and don't treat it shabbily. But having said that, there are a lot of things that have to be done, and probably some of them futilely, to stop global warming. Now, that sounds strange to you, but I've just been reading a couple of articles in Newsweek this last week that pointed out some things, and that is third world countries, and some of them that we wouldn't consider third world, but certainly as opposed to the United States and some of the other industrialized nations, they are kind of backward in that, China being one of them, that these countries want what we have. That is, they want all of the riches and things that we have, and they have as much right to them as we have. But what's going to happen is as they gain those, they're going to do just what we've already done. They're going to pollute the world more. And in fact, probably everything we do to offset it, they're going to go the opposite direction until they get around to being up to where we are and decide, yeah, we need to do something about the problem too. So we really can't blame those countries for wanting the same things that we have. And it is going to be a real problem to solve global warming if indeed anybody can ultimately do that. Another word that we just didn't really have in our vocabularies, I mean, we knew it was in the dictionary, but you didn't go around talking about it, tsunamis. Until some time ago, the areas in the Indonesian area had a tragic tsunami that killed hundreds of thousands of people. And now, every time there's a tremor out in the ocean somewhere, we all hear on our news about the possibilities of tsunamis. So yeah, these are real problems, and they're problems that affect people's lives and sometimes end their lives. And just recently, down in Peru, they had a magnitude 10 earthquake. Something that I can't imagine, because I've been through a 6.9 earthquake, and some of you have been through one about that here in the Bay Area. As you know, most of you, I lived on the other end of the San Andreas Fault before I moved up here, so I didn't get away from it. But tragedy and all the destruction and the loss of lives, and it was amazing there wasn't more loss of life in that occurred, simply reminds us that we are on top of a fault, that the scientists keep telling us that the big one is due, and we don't know when it's going to happen, but they believe it is going to happen. And when they talk about a big one, they're talking about a 10. And when you see the Loma Prieta damage that was done here in the Bay Area on a, what was it, 6.9 or 7? Okay, they've changed it over the years. And realize what a 10 would do to the area. I mean, these are problems, and these are things people are concerned about and probably should be concerned about. And now we've seen what water can do, besides tsunamis, just plain old rain. Except plain old rain that keeps on and on and on, as it has in the Midwest and the Minnesota and even down in Texas and through much of the Midwest. And it's causing deaths, it's causing destroying people's homes and businesses throughout the Midwest. Just rain. Rain, 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 rain. Floods. And so, you got problems out there. Hurricane Dean ushered in our hurricane season this year, and it missed us, thankfully, but of course it didn't miss poor Jamaica, and it didn't miss the Yucatan Peninsula, and it's still, I guess, with the rain that's been going, causing problems in Mexico. And that is something that is going to be going on throughout the hurricane season this year. Some people say we're going to have a worse one than we have in the past. Others have said, well, it doesn't look that way, but whatever, there's going to be problems with hurricanes. And if those Mother Nature problems weren't enough, wars and global terrorism, much of which is happening in and emanating from the Middle East. And again, these are things that we lived most of our lives without even thinking about, and now it's a part of our lives ever since 9/11. And so people have these reasons to worry and be concerned about their lives. But having said all of that, none of those things, I emphasize, none of those things are as important as what we're going to be talking about now. The fact is, we don't have any control over the weather. You know, with everything we like to talk about, we put men on the moon, we've sent probes throughout space, and we've made this world so industrialized, we can do all kinds of things with computers and all. We can't do a thing about a hurricane. We can't do a thing about a tornado. We can't do a thing about an earthquake. And I think it's kind of funny is maybe I should say odd.